Okay, good afternoon, everyone, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another Amazon Live webinar. Right, so it's time now. We're going to start in the interest of time because we still have quite a couple of the Q&A that we did not get to finish off in the last 2 days. Okay, so today the topic we're going to talk about is learn how you can ship and also the options or the fulfillment options available to you as a seller that you can deliver your products to your customer. Right, and once again, my name is Jun Liang here. Today I'll be your session host for the day, and then let's kickstart today's topic. Okay, some important notice for you to take a quick read. Alright, so if you have not subscribed to our channel, I think this is a good time. Alright, so the links are actually available in the follow-up emails that I share every time, also from the email from GoToWebinar. So you can go on to click on the playback list and you will be able to find our official YouTube channel. Right, so if you subscribe to it, whenever I upload the playback, you will be able to see the playback on your YouTube feed if you enable that option in your YouTube settings. So for any questions that you have today, you can put it into the Q&A box. All right, so I will address those live questions before we end the webinar, and then also cover the one that was shared during the registration by all of you. So last but not least, since there's recording, if you're going to watch this recording few months down the road, make sure you always check back to the latest one because from time to time there may be changes to things like fees, policy, etc. So always look for the latest video if you can. If not, check out the Seller University or the Seller Central help, which is on your Seller Central portal. So that will always have the most updated information for you. So this is the team I'm in, the Seller Education team. All right, so we have the Seller University learning program, which is something that I shared earlier on. You get to see short videos, keep track of learning progress on Seller Central. The other one that is something new that we started last year, which is the one you're attending right now, Amazon Live Webinar, where you get access to live webinar during the specific time. We also hold some session in the evening as well. I'm not sure if you attended before. And then during this live webinar, you can ask questions directly to myself and also to some other invited speaker that we frequently do invite them to our live webinar to share insights that is from their domains. All right, just want to give another shout out as well. So for those of you who are new to this session, I have shared in the past session as well. So we still have this ongoing fee promotion. So what it means for you is that you will need to pay for USD $1 and you get access to the professional selling plan for a total of 6 months. Right, so in the first month you will pay the USD $1 and then for the next 5 months you actually get access to the professional selling plan with zero cost. Now without this promotion it's actually $39.99 per month. So do take advantage of these promotions because it will end on the 30th of September this year. So with this selling plan, professional selling plan, you get access to a lot of the features such as the brand store, creating your own store like a website on Amazon.com, and then you can get access to better features such as A plus content to create more attractive content to get more visibility to your products. You also get access to our product opportunity explorer to help you do your product research. All right, so this is a good time to consider if you are still on the fence on whether or not Amazon.com, selling on Amazon.com is for you or not. All right, last but not least, we do have a lot of the new seller incentive as well. So I will be hosting a session regarding the incentive that you can get as a new seller this year for starting a new account. All right, today, day three, you're going to learn how to ship and deliver your products to your customers. All right, this is what is covered in the full-fledged workbook. You can download it from this link. Right, and then the link is also in the registration form when you sign up. Just copy paste the link and you should be able to download the PDF developed by the Seller University team. And then today I'm not going to cover every single one of it because there's going to be a lot of details. I will just cover things that I feel is most critical for you as a new seller. And then after the webinar, you can go to the downloads or rather the PDF you downloaded and then to deep dive further. So to start off, these are typically the consideration when you want to select a fulfillment channel. Things like the cost, the speed, the convenience, and then the accountability. All right. So this will have an impact on what kind of fulfillment channel you are going to use to actually fulfill your product and send it to your customers. Some options that you might think of, and these are some of the common logistic terms like land express delivery, things like using UPS, DHL, FedEx, etc. And then sea transportation, right? This is the most typically the most cost-effective method to ship to the Amazon fulfillment center. Then as again, this is also the one of the slower method, right? And then there are some terms you might see like FCL, LCL, like full container load, or the less than container load, right? The description are there, so I'm not going to repeat what is shown there. Right, and then last but not least, the most fastest and also the least cost efficient way is the air transportation. All right, so this can allow your inventory to reach, anywhere in the world globally less than a week. Yep. It's a little bit small. Let me just zoom in for you. All right. So some comparison that we did here for you that you can consider. Now again, this is just our our data that we managed to get for you to do a quick comparison. Right now, end of the day, you do want to check with your logistic provider or partner what is the exact cost depending on what you're shipping, etc. So this is typically what you need during your first mile delivery. All right, now to bring back everyone to the context over here is that Amazon Global Selling is to help sellers to expand their business globally, like US, Mexico, North America, etc. All right, so it's typically not about selling domestically. So if you are looking to sell domestically, like for example, you are from Singapore and then you're looking to sell into Singapore, this is what we call like you're selling domestically, then this might not be applicable for you, right? Because domestically, if it's a different method, you don't need to use sea shipment for domestic fulfillment, right? Right. So for those of you who are typically located in, for example, Southeast Asia region, Philippines, Singapore, you want to sell to the North America market, like for example, US, this is something you need to take note of because you need to know how you can get your inventory across the border so that it can reach your customers where is your target customer audience is located. So if you are thinking like what or rather where can you find if you do not have any logistic provider or partner that you know of, right? One of it you can consider is we do have this SPN network service provider network, right? So there is a list of the provider that was vetted by Amazon and then in turn they get listed in this Amazon service provider network. You can reach out to them. All right, it's not free, of course. All right, you reach out to them and then do your own communication and liaising with them. All right, do your own due diligence. Reaching out to them inside the portal itself and then have a chat. All right, they may reach out to you as well based on the contact details that you have on the Seller Central to discuss what are the shipping options available for you, depending on where you're located. Right, so otherwise, you can also visit one of my past webinar where I actually invite our service provider, one of the service provider, DHL, in the webinar to share about what are the shipping options that they have. That is something you can consider. Uh, Now, again, you have to do your own due diligence, right, on which actually works best for your types of business, depending on where is your manufacturing location, etc. Now, I want to introduce you. This is something that I think most seller over here would benefit most, which is the fulfillment by FBA. All right, I mean fulfillment by Amazon. Sorry, it's a short form called FBA. Right, so there are a couple of benefits to use FBA, fulfillment by Amazon. Right. So this, in summary, I can just tell you that you can send your inventory to one of the FBA fulfillment center, for example, in the US, all right? And then if anybody buys something from your listing, the Amazon will do the pick, pack, and ship for you. Amazon will handle the shipping for you. You don't have to process the order on the seller central website. Right. And then if there's any return or etc., so Amazon will also collect the return for you. All right. And then these are the key benefits just want to share with you. Using FBA, that will allow the Prime, you be eligible for Prime 2 day shipping or 1 day shipping across the whole of the US states. Right, that is something that you might not be able to do it if you are using your own self-shipping logistic partner. All right. So the advantage too is what I mentioned earlier on. So there will be 24/7 professional customer service support by Amazon in the local language, right? So you can, let Amazon take care of this operational aspect for you. Then you can focus on your business. And then advantage three is that together with FBA, we do have some benefits that I will share in the other webinar, which is about the new seller benefits, right? So you get some benefits as a FBA enrollment in the FBA selection program. All right. So last but not least, this also increase your chances of being appearing for your listing as the featured offer listing, which is what we call the buy box. All right. So let's assume that you're going to do your inbound for your FBA inventory, right? This is something that you need to do. First of all, you might want to start checking, whether or not your product is eligible for inbounding to, for example, the FBA fulfillment center, right? And then you need to start doing your product listing, right? You can either match to existing listing if you are authorized to sell certain product that is already on the Amazon catalog, or you can create your own listing. And then number three, you want to complete your product prep. All right, essentially is to make sure that your product is spec correctly. All right, so if you are going to do this yourself, then this is something important. All right, if you are going to get somebody else to do it for you, like a prep center or your supplier to do it for you, you want to make sure that they actually know how to do that for you to make sure that your packing of your product adheres to the requirements provided by Amazon. Right, and then the number four is make sure you provide the accurate box content information. Now, again, this is important if you're doing yourself, and then if not, ensure your supplier provide you the right information, right? And then from your end, you make sure that you print out the right shipment plan to paste it correctly. So later on, I will show some videos about this as well. Right, so lastly, just make sure that you ship it safely to the destination, right? Pack it correctly, and then you need to have the proper tracking code as well. Okay, so this is basically the what I mentioned earlier on, but in a more detailed form is check whether your product comply with the restriction. Certain items you cannot use FBA, right? So the second part is make sure that you match your and complete your listing. Right, so again, you might want to ensure to make sure that whether or not your product needs a GTIN or a Global Trade Identification Number. Okay, so this is something I covered yesterday regarding the UPC, the code And certain product category you do not need the product ID, and that's fine. But certain product category you will need to provide the product ID. All right, so prepping the products correctly, provide the accurate box content, which is what I mentioned earlier on. So if you did not do this step correctly, Amazon may take a little bit more, or rather a lot more time, in order to fix it for you. If let's say the item you send do not have accurate box content, or if they could not identify who does it belongs to, you may end up losing those inventory. So lastly, make sure that you provide the carrier tracking information. This will provide more visibility for the Amazon warehouse. So this is something, or rather the start to end fulfillment process. I'm going to show you. All right, this is something, step one, like I mentioned early on, fill in the product, etc., create a shipment plan, and then ship it in. Right, I think step two will be a little bit more overview of how it works. Okay, I'm just gonna go through. Right, so on the step one, this is the seller's responsibility, which is your responsibility. You can decide on your first mile or first leg logistic. All right, the logistic that you want to use to ship it to the FBA fulfillment center. Right. So when the product reaches the fulfillment center, it will be accepted by the Amazon side of things. All right. So if anybody were to make a purchase, all right, on the step three, Amazon will sort and also pack the item and ship it for you. That is step four, right? And then on step five, you can see that the Amazon will also deliver the product for you if you're using FBA, right? And then also lastly, any after sales services that will be provided by Amazon in the local language if you are selling into different stores globally. Right, so far so good. If you have any question, let me know in the question box. All right, so this is a quick overview of what I shared earlier on. And then also you can see what are some of the options available. All right. All right. So again, at the start, seller prepare the product, label, etc. Now again, as I mentioned, if you are the one preparing it, then you have to be aware of this. If not, you can get your supplier to do it. Actually for my case, I actually get my supplier to actually do the packing. All right, and then again, the shipment plan, etc. Right, if you are the one gonna do this, then you make sure that you know how to create a shipment plan, what to put in the shipment plan. All right. So next, you send the product to the fulfillment center, or this is something new. We have the AWD, the Amazon Warehousing and Distribution Center as well, right? Or you can use third-party logistic partner, or something maybe you have an existing relationship with, some logistic partner that you're more familiar with. You can do that, right? If not, Amazon does have a couple of programs that can help you on this. You can use either Amazon Global Logistic, SEND program, or we have the AWD as well to help you with that. All right. And also some other options here I will show you that you can also use to actually fulfill to more customers across the globe. Okay, just to bring everything in this one big picture that you can see, or you might have heard of this already. Is what they call the supply chain by Amazon, SCA. Right, you can see where which part of this supply chain process that Amazon play in. Right, so if you look at this, if I zoom in a little bit, okay, what I mentioned earlier on. right? This the freight and logistic, the first mile part. Right, so Amazon has this program, Amazon Global Logistics, that you can leverage on. So right now, I think it support China. If you are having your product being manufactured in China, you can actually leverage this service, right? So you can send or you can get the Amazon Global Logistics to pick up your inventory from China and then ship it over to the Amazon Fulfillment Center for you. All right. And then next one is what we call the send program, send and export and delivery program. All right, so you ignore this is domestic. All right, so Amazon has some partner carrier that you can straight away buy the shipping in the seller central. Right, so for now, in Singapore, it's not rolled out yet, but if you are actually supplying from the China, you can also use this. Or if your product is manufactured from China, you can also use this to ship your product. Right. So what's the difference? Typically for AGL, you might be shipping a bigger bulk or maybe even container load of inventory. All right. So for smaller load, you can consider using Send. Right. So next part, as you can see the arrow, dot, 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 all right. So AWD was launched recently. Now, so you have another additional option. So instead of sending directly to the fulfillment center using FBA, you can also choose to send to AWD, which is one of the Amazon distribution center that will be able to act like a warehouse for you. Right, so I know some seller actually use their own 3PL to store their inventory elsewhere and then do like drip feed, to their to the FBA fulfillment center. So this is one of the options you can consider. You can store your products or inventory on AWD, and then in the AWD there is a setting in Seller Central. You can either opt in for auto replenishment. So whenever your stocks in your listing, whenever your stock is low in the fulfillment center, it will automatically replenish for you, right? And then it means that you will forever be in stock, right? Because if you have stock in AWD, they will know that they will be able to fulfill the product, so your product will not be out of stocks. Right. So with this AWD, you can also leverage the MCD multi-channel distribution. You can use AWD as your main warehouse, and then you can use it to ship it to your other channel, your other warehouses that you want to, or other sales channel. Right. So I have a separate webinar just to cover AWD. So if you are interested, you can check it out. All right. Now for FBA, which is still one of the more common option, for now, right? So FBA will be over here. Okay, so you can use once your product ship into either the AWD or the FBA fulfillment center, and that's it. So if anybody were to buy your product, your listing, they will be picked, packed, and shipped by Amazon, so you don't have to process any order on your end. Okay, so using FBA also allow you to fulfill your other channel. Right, let's say you are not just selling on Amazon, you have your own website, or you are selling on other website like your own Shopify or other channel. You can use FBA to fulfill those orders as well. Right. So lastly, yep, your customer will receive your products. Okay, so I hope this gives you a great overview of how this whole supply chain by Amazon can help you with. So I'll touch a little bit on other other support available to help you expand, right? So you can see that the use of the FBA. Oh, sorry, my lights turned off here. Yep. So using FBA also allow you to think, on a longer term, you can also expand your reach to the other stores globally in other region as well. All right. So there are some other option like the remote fulfillment, with FBA, right? So just inbounding to the sending your inventory to US, you'll be able to fulfill your products to the other store if applicable, right? And also the Europe, etc. Right. So for example, if you were to start an account right now, signing up for the North America store, you will get access to the three store, the US, Mexico, and Canada, right? And then if your listing is eligible, it will actually auto create the listing for you, right? If your listing is eligible for all this automated creation, and then if anybody were to buy, anybody in Mexico or anybody in Canada were to buy from your listing, the fulfillment center can also fulfill those products to those areas as well. All right, so this is what I mentioned earlier on, the multi-channel fulfillment, right? You can use your inventory in FBA to also fulfill your order in your other fulfillment, other channels, right? Okay, so yesterday, or rather on day one, I actually covered this. So if you miss out, you can go back and watch the recording on the day one, where I show you where you can find the FBA revenue calculator. And this is important for you to estimate how much you need to actually get started. And then again, as advice, I would always encourage you to put in more buffer in terms of the cost that you're putting in to do your estimation. Right, next I'm going to touch on about the product packaging. Right, so what exactly is a product packaging picture, right? It refers to the photo of your physical product, including its label and the packaging. All right. Right, these are some the requirements, right, for having your product packaging picture that you submit, right? In the event that you need to submit this product packaging, these are the requirements. Your product label must comply with the local regulation for the country or the region you are selling in. Right. So yeah, make sure all the label information are visible, right? The picture must show what you are trying to sell, etc. All right, so yeah, so these are important, when you're going to submit, for example, like brand registry, extras, make sure your product packaging is accurate, and also when you are selling it to the region that you're targeting, make sure that the labeling it complies to the local regulation. It has the thing that is required to show. If you're selling like a health product, and it might be a regulatory requirement on, for example, US to show maybe the ingredients, etc. So these are the things that you want to take note of. All right. So last but not least, to let you know, we do have a very good video tutorial on how you can actually pack your product. So I'm going to share a few here since we have the time, and then we can look it through together on the different packaging. I'm going to show you the first one, how to label your product. Okay. Okay, so I hope that videos kind of give you a good idea as a start. All right, so it's very important if you are going to ship it yourself, you need to know all that. All right, so just going to share some key takeaway. All right, so do make sure that you choose the fulfillment channel that's most suited for you. Right, understand the pros and cons. You can use the FBA revenue calculator if your concern is regarding the cost effectiveness of your fulfillment channel. Or do a comparison between your own fulfillment channel as to compare with the FBA fulfillment method that you're going to use. All right. And then also understand your dimension is important because certain products, may not be eligible to inbound to FBA. And then typically big and bulky items or items that is like more than 30 kg is not recommended for shipping by FBA because you might actually incur more cost due to the size and the weight of the product. All right. So other thing is that to know that Amazon has a lot of these benefits, or rather other programs to help you scale your business, and also some other tools available for you to kickstart it, like to create a shipment plan is actually in Amazon Seller Central as well to create a shipment plan. That's a step-by-step, like a guide. You just follow through, put in a dimension, and then the shipment plan will be out. Something you need to make sure is that select the right store if you have multiple stores before you create a shipment plan, because once you create a shipment plan, it will designate a fulfillment center address for you, right? And the address may not be the same each time, so make sure that you always look through the look through the shipment plan to get the right address to send to. If not, your inventory may be sent to the wrong fulfillment center or wrong address. Okay, we have some more webinar, and then tomorrow will be the fourth day of the session that I will cover, and then I'm going to go through the live Q&A.